Okay, here we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am going to be painting up some orcs. So here's what I've got so far. Kind of doing like primary colors, very 2000s, Nickelodeon, very cartoonish. Still got a lot to do. I'm gonna try turning it's a little bit over there. Let's go turn this down just a little bit. I actually made a post this time around on YouTube. We'll see if that means anything. I don't know. Turning out these lights in the back here supposedly should look better. Let's see. Squared up on this camera. So here's what we're looking at. I've still got like this has got to be yellow. Where's this gun need to be done? I don't like all these teeth being blue. But yeah. Let's get crack-a-lacking. Dusty's gonna be joining us. Rich will not. Rich actually sent me a picture, I think yesterday. He was in a painting class with Marco Frazzoni, who's the Not Just Mecha guy. And that's really cool. I'm sure Rich will talk all about it when he is back. I want to paint this red, you know. Paint mixing device. Paint mixing. Okay. Go. It's kind of cool. Now there's this big live stream database of all my videos talking about all my painting and stuff. I don't know. It'll just be neat, I hope, 20 years from now to be able to look back and watch this. Hello, 56-year-old Robbie. And things are going well for you, buddy. You're taking care of yourself. Anyway, it'll be cool to be able to watch and say, hey, look at this. Look at what he was painting back then. Look at his level of skill. Look what techniques he was using. Look what blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I think it's neat. Maybe it's stupid. I think it's neat. The only thing I'm worried about is I'm a little bit trusting that YouTube. I'm very annoyed if in 20 years this giant database I have is, you know, Butchkies. Well, apparently, Rich took a class on painting and they were making fun of people who lick their paintbrushes. And there sure is a lot of evidence of me doing that. Where is my water bottle? This. True question. Started watching this TV show Pantheon on Netflix. Not my Netflix. I don't pay for nothing. And it's good. It's good. If we had an editor, there would be a little, it's good. Goes across. I like it. I might even watch it again. Pretty rare for me. So if I watch it again, I'll watch it 10 times. That's kind of how I am. All right, anyway, we don't need it. Getting matters. I'm just using bold pyro. think that's starting to look cool. Check it out. Okay. Guess we can let that blend dry for a little bit. Kids screaming bloody murder in the background. Hope y'all could hear that. Fighting out in the street over something, I guess. Does anyone feel like it's just a tad too much light? Give me a moment, friends. All right, buddy, old pal. I think that's better. This wrecking ball for gameplay, like, look at how much room it takes up on the side. Makes it hard to line a bunch of trucks up pleasingly. Makes me want to have the wrecking ball not out. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be out for purposes of gameplay. We can go on the Warhammer site in a minute and check. Because if I see iterations of it where it's not out to the side, I'll rip it off right the fuck now. Right the frick now. And I said frick, YouTube. I don't really care about the monetization because, you know, like, not making percent of zero is zero. But I guess I shouldn't switch for YouTube's sake. I guess. Okay. Yellow is super easy, by the way, as long as it's over a pink base coat. Then it goes on super easy, very little fuss or muss. Cool, right? Okay. Okay, cool. All right, I have an idea. Okay. What can I do next here? I can kind of soften, if y'all can see, right here. Pretty harsh. But I think if I do like some skeleton horde, which is pretty translucent kind of paint, I think I'll soften those transitions. Make it really nice. I don't want to use Garrick's sword or Gord Grunter. Hey, Dusty, what's up?
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It hath been 7 days since I have painted.
Are you painting a Ravener?
The same one.
All right. The title is Stupid Turtle Painters, Ork Trukk, and Dusty is still painting that Ravener. I published that stream 9 minutes ago.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I got 3 more to go after this.
Oh, I know. I feel pretty confident writing a Raviter at least, but I wrote specifically that Raviter.
That Raviter.
The one from last week.
I've been trying to figure out his the new Tyranid style. They've got kind of like, the shell color, sure. Like the scratches are a different color, like on the bottom of the shell. And I can look at it and see what they are doing and what they want to have happen. Making it happen is proving to be a totally separate thing.
I'm not saying I'm an expert, Dusty, but I achieved it by getting the brush to be kind of like this looking and just going like this.
Yeah. I think that's that's what I've kind of been working towards. And then I think the other part is I think I need to thin the paint more, like Rich was telling me last time.
Yeah, my paint's pretty thin.
Yeah.
Not so thin that it like runs everywhere, but thin enough that like individual strikes aren't actually that noticeable.
That's where my problem is it looks like I'm doing it with crayon, where the individual, stripes are very thick. And so every single one I put down just sort of like, it's like, it fixed the previous problem and created a new one.
Mm-hmm. It's because the paint's not thin enough.
Yep. How was your week?
It was actually really nice. I did my job is like creating like campaigns and like
right.
Soliciting and stuff like that. And I did a solicitation where I reached out to like, 486 people I've interacted with in the past who are on my like haven't bought list, right? And one of them, who was actually one of the largest accounts I ever put a contract together for that didn't end up going, actually responded and said, "Hey, how are things looking now with all the features we've discussed?" So,
and you're like, wait, what? Yes, let's discuss them.
Well, my campaigns are generally pretty successful. But I was very happy that was the first email back from the whole
nice.
Campaign. Is somebody so it's nice. It's nice. How about you?
Good, busy. Same as always.
Where's the Kickstarter watch?
We passed 800 a little while ago. Let's see. We are at 802,138.
Wow. Congratulations, Dusty.
It's moving.
I was discussing with a bunch of high-level programmer folks that work for a certain shoe company. And I was talking about them, how I feel like somebody could put together a competent studio that just creates not tabletop simulator versions, but just programs simple Steam video game versions of their products. I feel like there's a gold mine there.
Yeah, so I have people approach me every few months. So far, no one who's ever approached me. There's the studio that does Gloomhaven, I think, is the main one that I know of that's like real professional, but most of the rest of them, not like crazy professional.
Yeah, I've worked for a lot of custom software manufacturers, Dusty. Don't you worry, I know the gamut.
Well, I what it is it's somebody who put together like a team of contractors is what they're doing, right?
Right, I'm talking like from the ground up, an architect because any card game works like any other card game.
Yeah, you're making an engine. You're making an engine, and then you're building within that engine. What
I'm saying is you build an engine, and that way you can make mobile versions of all of the games.
Yeah.
You can make them professional and super high quality. And I think what you'd want to do is you'd want to build a game on spec that you felt would be a high performer on both mobile and Steam, and then you just blow the audience away with quality.
Yeah, most of the quotes I've gotten have been for like the lowest quality you can get, and they've been at like $70,000 to $100,000, which you got to sell a lot of games to recoup that.
That's a scarily cheap estimate, actually, in my opinion.
Well, but the quality that they're showing is what you get.
I'm worried when it's that cheap. I'm like, that's.
But even that cheap, like that's a no go for us.
Oh, but video games is such a different market. Video games compared to tabletop. What's tabletop? A little bit over $1 billion industry globally.
I actually don't know the answer to that.
What I'm saying is, like, video games are like the largest industry in the world. Like,
video games are bigger than movies right now.
Yeah, video games are media,
and that's why everybody's falling all over themselves to make video games and not movies.
But I think that their mistake is quality. I think what I'm proposing is, what if you had a studio that was professional, full-time developers? I think that there's enough of a market there for that.
Yeah.
Especially because what I would recommend, this is the pitch I would make the board game companies, is I would make a live service contract where users subscribe to your offerings. And then the relationship that you would have with the company is they would continue to create updates as you release more content.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, they could do things like create cosmetic content for the digital only products, stuff like that.
Right.
They would also manage online servers for multiplayer play. Because what I'm envisioning, Dusty, is I'm envisioning when you download this game, right? You have like an online persona that you create for the game, like a BattleNet profile, right? And then you'd be able to play the game with anybody in the world. You'd be able to just matchmake into random games with them. And I think the real key would be step one, social engineering, because I think there's a good way to do that where the experience is positive. And I think there's a bad way to do it where the experience is negative.
Right.
You know? But I think there's something there. I think there's a business there. I don't know how you'd have to structure it and everything like that, but I really think there's a gold rush in independent game development.
It's certainly not a saturated market space, that's for sure.
Well, as things change and as things become more and more commodified and as things become more and more flattened, especially by automation, we can call it, I think independent gaming experiences are going to remain a unique novelty that isn't tarnished by the, you ever heard the concept in shitification?
Yes.
By shitification. You'll still buy a board game and it'll be a board game, Dusty. You know?
Right.
That provides longevity. And I also don't think there's much of a market for AI-made board games.
I mean, at least when I'm now, you know, if I was doing the Coca-Cola versus Pepsi test, I'm sure it could trick me, right? But it's just like everything else. You can kind of feel it, like the uncanny valley of like something doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, started watching a television show.
What's that?
I was curious if you watched it. Felt like something up your alley. It's on Netflix. It's called Pantheon.
Pantheon? No, I haven't watched that. What is it?
Okay, I don't want to spoil anything. Okay. But it is a science fiction story about, I would call it maybe transhumanism. If I didn't want to spoil anything, you know what I mean? Just about the future of humanity and technology and development and stuff like that.
Interesting.
I don't want to spoil any because
So even the premise is that exciting.
I think it's a very fun premise.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever read a science fiction story that elucidated this since maybe Black Mirror. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Really like it. I'd recommend it. Give the first episode a watch, and if you're not hooked by the end, it's not for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to wait long. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you don't like it, all right, move on. I'm having a lot of fun painting these orcs. Look what I bought, though. I bought Snozgrag Snag 2. Something like that.
I like the color palette you're using there.
Thanks, dude. Going for a 90s Nickelodeon.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
Check out what I got.
Oh, nice. I love that mini.
Come on, right? Look, it's got fucking exhaust ports on the side.
It's a shark with exhaust pipes.
Yeah. Now, here's my problem. I probably don't want to run the special character version, but he looks way freaking cooler.
Just do it counts as.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the power call and maybe sometimes run him as such or not. All right, my buddy was at a 2-day Warhammer event. He just texted me how it went. Let's see. He texted me the picture of this picture. Dusty. Is
that Ben Affleck?
Yeah, smoking this cigarette.
So it didn't go great.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm having fun with this truck. I think I've got my final list, though. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
All right. Give me a minute. Give me a second. All right. For now, I don't really care what my detachment is, although apparently they're carrying over. So for right now, let's just go War Horde.
By the way, I love that this is more of like a 10.5 than a full 11. And they're
I think it's smart to always do that. I think they should always go full refresh, 0.5, full refresh.
Yeah, I mean, it just lets you carry your product over a little bit.
But by the time 10 years is rolled around, or 5 years rather, that's you're due for a reset of a lot of your product.
And that's okay. I'm okay with that. But they've sort of solved the problem of well, I just bought the Black Templars Codex and a supplement, and now, and then it's going to be obsolete in 3 months. Dang it.
You also see, too, that they're probably getting rid of the codes from the codexes.
I did not see that, but that would be great.
What it said is you will be able to look up other armies' rules.
Yeah.
So I think what it's just going to be is you subscribe $5.99 a month or whatever, and you get the Warhammer rules.
I'm okay with that.
I am too. If this is the way that they want to do it, I think this is a smart way to do it. The only thing I wish they would do is I wish at the end of an edition, they would publish a book. And you can make it even a limited print run, and it's just one book, all the rules.
That would be encyclopedic.
Yeah, and that way there is a historical document which says this was 10th edition.
I think I'd just settle for them actually putting 10th edition in the freaking books right now.
Sure.
because you cannot, unless somebody goes out of their way to tell you, or you look at the publishing dates, you can't hold a book and say, this was 8th edition and this one was 9th edition.
I could show up to a Warhammer tournament with like my 3rd edition Guard Codex and be like, my guys have without numbers. So that means when you kill them, they come back.
Yeah.
My buddy played this Tyranids list way back in the day, back in 5th edition, with the 5th edition Tyranid book, not the 3.5 Tyranid book.
Uh-huh.
He was against my buddy's Space Wolves. My buddy's Space Wolf captain, he charged him with 20 gaunts and completely surrounded him on all sides. The gaunts failed to do anything. The captain just ripping through him with his chainsaw and shit. But the gaunts had without number, which meant when they were fully destroyed, they got to come back from any board edge. This was happening within 6 inches of a board edge. So every time he would charge the Space Wolf captain with 20 gaunts,
There'd be more.
Of 2 turns of combat would kill the gaunts. Then they would show back up and charge him again.
Oh my god.
Killed like 100 gaunts. It was great. Oh man. Hold on. I'm gonna order my dinner so that it's here when the stream is over. Oh, here's the list. You ready?
Yep.
Gazgul, who I painted up, by the way. You want to see him?
Yeah.
All right. Go grab Gazzy and then I'll come back here. Look at this while I go get him. Here's my list on an unknown list building app. Unknown list building app. All right, you ready, Dusty?
Yep.
Check him out. I think he's pretty cool. I think there's some more I could do with him, but for now, he's good.
Oh yeah. I like that a lot. It looks like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's the idea. Especially the green.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everything they had was like those oranges and reds and blues. Like,
yeah,
I love that. That looks super good.
That's the vibe I'm going for. Very like Nickelodeon children's cartoons. Get into the Subma chapter in Community, the G.I. Joe episode. They're talking about the Subma chapter. It's a submarine helicopter. All right. So, Gazgul. 10 Beast Snagga boys.
Okay.
10 regular boys.
Okay.
6 Breaka boys. 10 Commandos. 4 Squighog boys. Battle Wagon. 6 Killicans. 1 Shock Jump Dragsta. Truck.
So 2 trucks or 1 truck?
3 trucks. You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
And that's it. And the idea is the commandos break up into 2 5-man squads, grabbing a war boss each. They go into a truck that can hold 12. So that's a really dangerous truck payload if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's 10 boys and 2 war bosses with power claws. Like a war boss with power claws can kill like fucking a lot of things in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's in 1 truck. Then the other truck has, what is it called? The 6 Breaka boys and another war boss. Then another truck has the 10 Beast Snagga boys and the Beast boss. And then Gazgul goes in the battle wagon with 10 boys and the Big Mac who's projecting the 4-up invulnerable save field. Right?
Right.
And then the Beast Snagga, like Squig boss character is with the Squighog Riders, which makes them an actual threat, but they're also crazy fast. I think it's just
the trucks.
Very like get into your front line, stuck in term 1.
I mean, that's very orky.
That's how I feel. I don't like Green Tide. I don't want to move 800 orcs very slowly across.
That was my next comment. Is it? Yeah, that's not a lot of orcs compared to a lot of the lists I see for them.
Yeah, I mean, let's see the numbers. It's a 2,000 point list, and total amount of models is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 18, 28, 34, 44, 48, 49, 55, 56, 59 models.
You know what? That's actually a lot more than I was thinking. I think a lot of the ones I see have like 70 or 80, so 59 is not like crazy far off.
No, it's nothing crazy, but I'm also not moving 200.
Yeah.
Although maybe someday it would be funny, especially if I did a lot of magnetizing work where it was a very stress-free gaming experience. Just running a 200 orc boy list. Or I guess you could only run 100. Oh, wow. Orcs really are a lot smaller of an army now. 120 boys is the maximum amount of plain boys you could run.
Jeez.
But 120 boys would be pretty funny, don't you think?
Yeah, I would look at that, and it's kind of like the squirrel decks in Magic. Like, what's your objective here?
Well, like all I do is I stand on circles. Although, do you know what is changing with 10th?
That they're not doing circles anymore. They're doing terrain features for.
Yeah, and secondaries will be determined by your army and detachment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and can't you have like multiple detachments in an army now? So
I don't know how that's going to work. They implied that it was going to be rare. I'm guessing it's for like Imperial agents.
I mean, yeah, will it be sort of like Age of Sigmar, where it's more like about the, the subgroupings you make, I guess?
I don't know. I don't know. I hope that it is a less aggressive edition, because it is currently very killing.
So you want like more objective play?
No, I want death be so certain. I'm tired of all these combos where you stack multiple benefits.
Yeah, which I think they said you can't do anymore, right? Or
won't be able to play multiple stratagems, but you'll still be able to combine a stratagem with a detachment benefit with a character ability.
Yeah.
I am tired of the fact that every army has a way to get some unit to reroll to hit, reroll to wound, and +1 to hit, +1 to wound, AP4, ignores cover, devastating wounds, dev wounds on a 4-up.
Yeah.
And every army has a single way to do that, then the game feels very crowded with those abilities.
Yeah.
Now, I also don't want the opposite. I don't want a world where everyone plays a bunch of hero hammer because it's impossible to do big damage. I'm just tired of the arms race. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's hard to chase the meta on those combos too if you're just like playing casually.
For me, I think the smartest way to play this game, if you chase the meta, it's because you're crazy like me, because I paint so much and so often and daily that I'm going to be painting something anyway. So if there's a wackadoo list that's doing well, like that custode list, well, I might as well build it. Whatever. It's only going to take me 2 weeks. But for other people, sane people, it's crazy to chase the meta. There's no way to finish the army in time.
The only way to do it would be to have a ton of miniatures just built up over time so that they're already done when the meta shifts.
Well, and that's actually what I like to do. I like to build enough of all play styles so that no matter what play style becomes the dominant one, I can kind of just shift into it.
Yeah.
And I like painting so much that it doesn't hurt. What have you been watching lately, Dusty?
We have been watching Sentenced to Be a Hero.
What's that?
It's have you watched Solo Leveling?
I've watched shows like it.
Yeah, so it's nothing like Solo Leveling, but it's that flavor. So it's sort of like the dark adventure kind of like semi anti-hero kind of thing.
Yeah, ironic.
That one, they have what they call penal heroes, where your punishment is not death, but to be forced to be a hero. And they send you into all the, and so it's like fantasy world. They send you into all the worst fights. They leave you to die all the time. You're constantly getting resurrected. It's kind of like Age of Sigmar. Like the more you're resurrected, the more you lose yourself.
So you're like 40k conscripts.
Yeah, basically, like it's like you will go, and so then there's sort of like these fungus demons that they're fighting against, and so that's the premise. And then they have what are called goddesses, and the goddesses are effectively like artificial life girls, like little girl, like not like poppy kind of girls, more just like little like elf sprite kind of girls that all have like superpowers on them. And so the main character is one of these penal heroes, and
it's a ghost from Destiny.
It's a what?
The girls are ghosts from Destiny.
Yeah, kinda. Except they definitely have like the main girl. She like can call down swords from the sky, like a rain of swords, and give the guy a big sword to fight with and stuff.
I mean, ghosts do.
Yeah, I mean, ghosts like supercharge them, right? Like.
Well, they gave them the light in general.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, true. It's less that they're doing it for them and more that they're fighting side by side.
Sure.
She's not gifting him the power, but she's using the power, like fighting with him. It's really good. I'm actually enjoying it a lot. I thought it was going to be, after watching the first episode, I thought it was going to be a very different anime than what it is, and I like how it's turned out. We've been watching Hell's Paradise, which is great. That's in its, I can't remember what season. I think it might be season 2. And we've been watching. I got to think about what else is coming out each week. Oh, Frieren. I love Frieren.
Yeah, I got to watch the new season.
It's more of like, we also like to watch like the high school like rom-com stuff. There's one called You and I Are Polar Opposites. It's really good.
Oh, cool.
I read the whole manga on that one, and the realization of it is phenomenal. Like one of the best adaptations.
Oh, cool.
I think I've seen. Like it was just very clear that they set out to like capture it, and that they really liked it and whatnot. It wasn't like they were just phoning it in.
You know what I was thinking about? It's going to be a common trope if movies are still a thing. It'll be a trope in stories. I don't know if movies are still going to be a thing. There's a method of conveying stories. But eventually people are going to tell, like the story, like, was it The Lake House, where they have like an interdimensional mailbox?
Oh, yeah.
Love story through it. People are going to do stories where it's like one partner loses another partner tragically through death, but then they can continue to communicate through their World of Warcraft characters. It's gonna be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, too, people are gonna start to get real creepy with engrams of people. I'm sure they already are. You know what I mean? Like crafting engrams of persons, celebrities. No. So you know what an engram is, right?
No, that's where I'm getting lost.
Okay, it's just basically somebody takes, I don't know, who's a famous person? Just somebody famous, right?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah. There's enough footage of all of Tom Cruise's facial expressions.
Oh, they're making it like a deep fake kind of thing?
Things he's written, that more than a deep fake, you could create an AI
that is him.
Well, no, that just tries to replicate and generate responses that are similar.
Yeah.
People would fall in love with a stick that has like a smiley face written on it. Very empathetic. And people are going to worship and love these things.
I saw some crazy statistic that in like surveys that I can't remember, it was like some high, like double-digit number of high schools. 40% of the students surveyed said that they have had a relationship of some sort with an AI that was like either friendly or romantic. And the crazy thing is that 5 years ago I would have thought, oh my God, I can't believe the researchers believe those kids, because you know that they're just messing around. And now I'm like, honest to God, I don't know what to believe. Like if I could see that being true.
People are going to worship these things, Dusty.
Yep.
People are going to invite them to be the best man at their wedding.
Yep.
They're going to bring them with them on job interviews. They're going to
bring them with them to sign their cars, their leases.
Fully indoctrinate them into their life. Some people are going to start requesting that the only way you communicate them is through their agent. And their agent will filter and process all messages sent to them.
And that's how Skynet gets you to look away when they're taking over the planet.
Oh, that's already done. That's
By the way, thinning the paint, great. Worked great.
It works. Doing the thing people have been telling you for years work. I love this tweet. It's something to the effect of like, terrible news. The advice people have been giving you for a while is right.
Yep. I just wasn't capable of understanding it.
Yeah, you know, you think that you're not doing it right because the effect is very subtle at first. I don't know. I think the blending on this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's looking really good.
Camera though, Dusty, are you ready?
Oh, you're putting me on? Yep.
All right, I gotta order my food so it arrives by the time. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this orc army. I think I'm just gonna get like a relativistically like simple orc, pile in the trucks and rush at your enemy army. I actually think I'm going to skip the wrecking ball war gear. If I'm being honest, I think I'm actually about to take it off right now because it protrudes in a way that I think would limit movement, and it doesn't really do that much.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Is that on? Who's that on?
These tanks for the truck.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, it's just not useful in my opinion. It's one attack that hits on 4s, no AP, 1 damage, but it protrudes off the side of the vehicle in this way that's going to make it that it's going to clip constantly onto bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'll just be honest with you, I'm just going to play without it modeled. It's, you know, because I don't want anyone to claim I'm modeling for advantage. And it's like, well, I'm not required to take war gear.
All right, here. What do you think of this?
Let's see it. Wow, Dusty. Looking good. This is looking real good. What do you think about it?
I think it did what I wanted it to. I'm pretty happy with it.
Should be happy. I think it looks great. Went out, played a Pokemon Go event. There were about 100 of us in the park fighting Gigantamax Pikachu.
I didn't realize Pokemon Go was still, I mean, I knew it was still going, but I didn't realize it was going on that scale. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. It's fun. Everybody gets out there and we all see each other every, couple months. Do some weird wet and wild event. It's a good time. All right. We ripped off that thing and all the places where the paint chipped. I went in and I painted like bright, like damage deterioration. So it
Nice.
looks, cool.
How does that work? Fight with 100 people fighting the one guy.
What's that?
100 people fighting the Gigantamax Pikachu?
Yeah. So you're assembled in the teams of 3. You can only use Dynamax and Gigantamax Pokemon. The fight is broken up into waves.
How do you find people that were like, did you know other people there? Like, how do you find people to be teamed up with?
A game called Campfire, which people can RSVP to come out to certain events.
Uh-huh.
And so people RSVP to this particular park. But we've all been playing for like 9 years at this point. So we all know the park where we all meet. You know what I mean? So I got a pretty good EV, shiny Gigantamax Pikachu. I also gained an entire level in a single day, which is the most XP I've ever gained. It's a very challenging event. It was like, whoa. But it was a hard boss, so that's why we got lots of XP. Took 100 of us.
But you prevailed. And so was it just the level that you got for having beat it, or what did you get?
I gained about like 700,000 Stardust, which is pretty nice. It's the most important in-game resource in my opinion. Yeah, this truck also looks so much cooler without the stupid wrecking ball. I didn't realize how much I hated that wrecking ball.
Some of the melee stuff in Warhammer, I like look at it and I'm like, I don't understand how this is supposed to function.
Yeah, I just don't like how it like protrudes off the model in a way that makes it annoying to play.
When you're like, how is this going to function in combat? Like, I mean, you have to pull the truck like right up to something. I got a challenge for you. Build me a knights list.
Chaos or regular?
Regular.
Okay.
Because I know you love the knights.
I hate the Knights.
I saw they announced the Sunday preview today. They have that new Knight Destrier, and that looks pretty cool. It's like in between, like a mid-size Knight.
Does look cool. Knights. All right, let's do 2,000 points. Let's do Questoris Companions. Let's do Canis Rex. Let's do. I like a Lancer. I like. Man, I hate Knights, dude.
Yeah, like is a strong word.
Maybe 2 Lancers. I feel like you need some shooting to go with Canis Rex, though. What do you like out of night shooting?
The Crusader.
Well, to me, I like taking a bunch of 400-point knights. I think that's fun. I don't like taking a bunch of, like, Helverins or anything like that.
I could see maybe trying to take like 2 just for utility. But the lists I don't really like are, the one for a few months there, the Chaos list, it was winning all the time, was like entirely the War Dogs. Like,
what?
Like it sort of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Here's my problem. Knights are stupid. Here's my fix. Are you ready?
Don't use them.
No. They should add in a Knights militia as a core part of the army. And the expectation should be that you take some militia, some knights.
Yeah, I mean, thematically, like they should always be traveling with a pile of Mechanicus, right? Like,
I think it should be a knight-specific, weird human military force.
I would buy it in an instant.
Yeah. I also think that whenever a knight should die, it should leave behind a little knight like Canis
Like
Rex.
Canis Rex does.
But I think they should all have OC0. I think it should be more cool than it is useful. I just think it's freaking neat, and it reminds you that these are piloted by one person,
Yeah.
by one heroic person. That's the cool part. The cool part of the knight isn't the robot, it's the thing in the robot.
Yeah, I agree.
I am so much happier now that I ripped off that stupid chain ball. I also wanted these to be able to rank up next to each other and squeeze through tight passages, And this dumb wrecking ball is going to add like so much dumb dimension, And also like off kilters the profile of the model. I don't know. It's kind of like sleek now. It looks like it's fast now. Before it looked stupid. I'm going to have 3 trucks too, so I need to fix any issues with it now.
So would you take an assassin with a knight's list?
No. I think knights should have their own bespoke combined arms military force designed around supporting knights.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what would make them a cool army. That is what would fix them. You cannot have an army built around running 4 models. That isn't stupid. The game is supposed to have lots of models. It's built around models. If you make one model that's big and does everything, well, you're only left with 2 choices. It sucks and no one likes playing it, or it's way too good and no one likes playing against it.
Right.
Those are your 2 options. There's no balanced way to do it. Because how do you make it so that one player moving one model is skill checked as much as the player moving 20 or 50?
Yeah.
You can't. It's not possible. There's only a finite amount of fun in a game, and you have to make sure both players get some of it. At least that's what. I'm not saying it's great.
Last weekend, I almost bought 2 of those Custodes battle forces. I was so excited for the tanks, and then I saw that they are releasing the other tanks in the Venatari just as individual sets.
I knew they would.
Well, that was my assumption for years, and they sure didn't do it. So I wasn't going to trust until I saw like confirmation.
Sorry, ordering my food.
What are we having for dinner?
I don't know. Storing some cheap that'll deliver right here.
I live so far out in the boonies that in my entire life, I've lived here for 42 years, we have never once had a delivery of food at this house.
Would have lived somewhere for that long.
Pro tip there for anyone who's watching. Sometimes when I make an oopsie, I just take my finger and I wipe it off faster than it can dry.
You know where I learned that technique from?
Where?
The grandfather of miniature painting YouTube videos. Buy it, paint it. He calls it dirty finger technique. He says sometimes when you're painting and you mess up, he says just really quick swipe it away.
Yep. I mean, it never gets worse. And if it doesn't work, then I go and fix it the right way later.
Oh, I'm so much pleased with this, Dusty. The no freaking cannonball.
Nice.
Because it also lets me reach this orc in a reasonable way. so I can paint it like a normal person.
Yeah, those I have one of those trucks. I haven't built it yet, but I've been looking at it like, how would I paint this? And I'm like, gosh, I feel like I need to do it in assemblies.
I find the assemblies unnecessary if you don't assemble it with the chain ball. And I think that's my position on why you don't need to model the chain ball. I would play without it and have a more dexterous truck. That's the trade-off. It's the way I see it. I just hate it. It's going to snap off too eventually.
And not in a good way. Like you're going to catch your hand on it while you're pulling something else
And
out
it's
of the
going to
box.
drag 18 models off the table and everyone will die. My players are doing a classic, dungeon diving where they get so deep into a fantasy setting, it starts to become science fiction.
Nice.
And one of the players is trapped, and he doesn't know it, but the suit of armor he has kind of like a symbiote. It's like,
that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, every session I'm going to give him +2 to all of his stats. And every time he takes off his armor, it's going to deal 1 additional point of damage.
Nice. Whoops. In the campaign I'm playing right now, I have been carrying around a bucket. And because I found a bucket, and I'm like, you can put all kinds of things in this. And
you could.
And it's a custom campaign. They're actually coming to Kickstarter, the Axis Saga. It's being written by the people that own the studio that I play at.
Okay.
And we get to this building. It's tied to a bunch of lore and stuff. Lore doesn't matter, but we find a magic forge in the middle of it. And what does that mean? It means we're all going shopping, right? And so we figure out each of us can put one of our things on the forge, a non-enchanted thing, and enchant it. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I got a shield that could use an enchantment. I got armor that could use an enchantment. Like, which of those should I do? And one of the guys who typically is he's like the most knowledgeable player amongst us and is usually very serious about it, goes, you need to put the bucket on that forge.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, yep, I got to put the bucket on that forge. And so I put the bucket on the forge and hit it, and the GM goes, all right, gonna need a minute. So this is where we're gonna take our break. And it was like right about break time anyways. And I come back and he goes, the hammer rains down on the bucket and clang, and all of a sudden, the blue light begins to glow from the interior of the bucket. I'm like, yes, tell me more. And filigree, gold filigree starts to run up the sides of the bucket. And I'm like, yes, this sounds pretty good. And emerging from the bucket is a book which you read, and it said the bucket grants me 5 casts of borrowed knowledge per long rest. So I'm effectively proficient in all things now.
From a magic bucket.
Yeah, it's called the Bucket of Borrowed Knowledge, and I'm like, yep, this is the greatest item I have ever owned in all of D&D ever. Period. End of sentence.
I always give my players whack items. That's a good one, though. That's yeah, I like that one a lot. I'm gonna have to steal that. Right now, they were given. I said that they triggered a prosperous age by handling an alliance rather than total war with the creatures of the Caves of Chaos. So I gave them 1 permanent upgrade to the keep, and they chose a magical blacksmith. And I said, okay, the benefit of the magical blacksmith, since you guys are such high-level characters, is you'll get to magically improve 1 thing per session. And so he decided to magically improve his armor to match the magic of his helmet. And his helmet was already like Dr. Fate style taking over him.
Right.
So now the whole suit of armor is, and every session he's just going to keep getting more and more stats. And he's got to be worried eventually.
He doesn't, and he doesn't know why, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been fun. Been cool. So chuffed that how much better this looks without the stupid hello. Very happy. We're gonna be jumping off a little early tonight because my food's gonna arrive a little early, but
Totally fine.
I mean eating cold food. For for our one beautiful viewer. I just try to imagine sometimes how handsome our one viewer must be. It must be off the charts.
Angelic.
Yeah. Cherubic. Yeah, I'm gonna do that next character. All right, Dusty, how would you go about this? I gotta make 3 war bosses. I don't want to buy a $30 kit 3 times and build the exact same character 3 times. How could I buy 1 kit and build 3 war bosses from it if I supplied the correct base?
You would have one that was just legs, one that's only a torso and arms, and one that's a head.
All right, terrible idea. Right. Give you another shot, Dusty.
You know what I know? Well, I mean, what kind of build options does it have? Because it seems like where they always get you, they always give you tons of arms, tons of heads. They never give you extra bodies, so that's the problem. Do you have extra bodies lying around anywhere?
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna share my screen here. I'm gonna go to warhammer.com. Right? I'm trying to build only GW because I someday want my stuff to appear in Games Workshop's publication, White Dwarf.
Yep.
You're Ted. All right, let's go to 40K. Let's go to orcs. Let's see what there is compelling wise from orcs. All right,
I mean, wait, you want to make 3 different war bosses, but you don't mind buying additional stuff.
Step 1, here's the war boss. He's got a big claw, he's got a big head. An attack squig would be nice to represent.
Doesn't he? He doesn't have multiple. It's like multiple configuration options.
No, and he's $32, Dusty. I'm not doing it. I won't do it.
I mean, $32 is pretty cheap, though.
I gotta buy 3 of them, Dusty.
Well, that's a $96 unit, which is definitely above rate. Yes.
All right, hear me out. If you're done with your great ideas, hear me out here. All right. 1.
Hey, how come by the way, why does your list not have a Stompa on it?
I think they look lame. They look like they're wearing a big moo-moo.
Well, I mean, it just to me feels like it should be on your list.
If I were to make a Stompa Dusty, I think I would build it from a knight first and then add orc looting.
And add the moo-moo? It's just a knight with a moo-moo on it.
All right. So I'm gonna run
that guy on the back left. Wait, is that a war boss?
No, this is like he's a knob.
Yeah, that guy's got the pose, and you could start taking some war boss stuff.
Dusty. I'm running this model already.
Okay. What's left? Did they give you extra parts?
All right. No, not really. It's not very good. It's one of those like monopose kits. So here's the places I can make a war boss out of. And also remember, 2 of the war bosses will be leading these guys. So in a perfect world, I'd like 2 war bosses that look sneaky and a war boss that looks like he belongs in the Breaka crew.
Right.
I could build it from the Ork Knob kit. These are bigger orcs. So I could just buy 1 Ork Knob kit, put them on the 40mm bases, build 2 of them with commando bits jammed together, and 1 of them with Breaka Boy motifs.
Yeah.
So 1 more heavily armored and 2 more sneaky. What do you think?
I mean, I think if you put those guys on and said this war boss, I wouldn't think anything of it.
Well, and they would be WYSIWYG. I'd have to give them attack squigs, but as you can see, they come with them. But let's see if we can do a little better. Corruption, Orc War Clans. See if there's any fantasy kits we could use. These don't really fit my vibe.
I don't see how you could cross them over that easily.
All right.
It's a distinct lack of claw hands.
If I mix this and gave it a claw hand, that's a pretty good heavily armored, but not mega armored war boss.
Isn't that is the breadth of the feet too big? Because isn't the war boss base smaller than that one?
On a 60, this is too big.
So wouldn't his to me those look? It looks like his feet would be hanging off the edge of the 40. Is it a 40 the war boss is on?
What about these guys?
I still feel like the actual, what was it, the Breaka Boys? Nah.
One of them would be cool to do a guts war boss.
Whoa, what about that guy? Yeah, Hard Boy.
He'd be good for the commando, especially
Yeah.
if this was a power claw instead of a stick.
Is that a pistol on his other hand?
No, but I could put
Holding
a
his
pistol
sword that
in his
way?
very easily. I could very easily put a pistol in his hand. And he is on a 40 mil. So I could do him. Yeah, but you know what's cheaper?
I think your first idea was the cheapest, where you just buy the one kit.
Buy the one kit and I'm done.
But what was that? Was that?
Ork knobs.
Yeah.
And look, they have the attack squig.
And they got the arm. They got the claw arm too.
Yeah, look. Here. 1 claw arm, 2 claw arm, 3, 4 claw arm, 5 claw arm. There's 5 claw arms here.
Yeah.
So and they have the pistols, which they have, and we have.
And then you have 3 different war bosses from 60, 70 bucks worth of stuff.
Yeah, not bad at all. Sick.
Three distinct war bosses. I'm surprised they don't have that one doesn't come with more configuration options.
It's old. So here's what I think I'll do then. I will wait for GW to potentially release new plastic knobs.
Yeah, I was actually, you know what? You should probably wait till June, because they may even just have a new war boss.
Yeah, and if I can just buy 3 of the starter box and then convert the war bosses, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing that. I think it's fun.
Although I don't, as far as starter boxes go, like this one is cool. It's got good stuff in it, but I do think the Tyrannid mix was a little more exciting than the Ork mix that they have in this one.
I'm way more excited about orcs than bugs.
I really like Tyrannids a lot. I enjoy painting them. I just thought it was cool that you got more like monstery variety, I guess. It felt. I'm trying to remember what's even in the starter box. Let's go see.
Yeah, picked up the.
Gosh, the defilers for the new Iron Hands Eye of Terror release. Those things are disgusting.
I think they're pretty good. I think I'm gonna build one, and I'm gonna run it with the 2 las cannons.
I think everything is good except for this meaty, like, pale mass that is their body is just grossing me out. Like, worse than.
I will probably just paint that to look like material.
Yeah, like it's like worse than Nurgle. Like, there is a configuration, if like when you look at it has an optional assembly, and where it's got more like metal parts on top of the flesh. I don't mind the flesh peeking through, but just that. Ugh.
Yeah, I'll probably add some armor plating to cover most of it, because my Iron Warriors, I try to keep most of the flesh stuff to a minimum. Even my obliterators are robots rather than.
Yeah. Where is the list? Maybe they didn't list it. Maybe that was Auspex that listed it all out. I think it was him. Every time I go to YouTube, I have like 7 channels that I subscribe to.
Sure.
I have like 7 channels that I subscribe to, and they don't show me any of those when I go to the landing page. It just shows me all the usual like insane like culture destroying TikTok level stuff of people like eating Tide Pods and whatnot. And I'm like, where is this algorithm even looking at like the Warhammer things that I look at? And it's like Warhammer, anime, and some video game stuff, and that's it. That's my whole like my whole feed. They don't show me any of that. They just now is some guy that was shoving like straws in his mouth. Okay.
All right, Dusty, here's what I have gotten done for the stream tonight. As you can see, the wrecking ball is now gone.
That looks really cool.
Thank you. Let's see what you did, and then I'm going to eat.
So I think
It's
I'm
looking
ready to move past the blue, but that's what I've been working on for like the last 2 streams.
Really?
Is
You
just
really
the-
nailed it. Wow. That looks great.
it was a challenge to figure that out. But I feel like it's not quite, I mean, it's obviously not as good as what they have on the heavy metal stuff on the site, but I feel like I got there good enough that I can look at it and be at least proud of it. It doesn't bug me.
You should be very proud. 100%. All right. I will talk to you, Dusty.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you next weekend.
See you next week.
Bye.